The Nintendo Switch has been a massive success since it released all the way back in 2017, and ever since then companies have tried and pushed the system to its limits by either creating new and original games for it, or by using some sort of wizardry to bring big AAA titles like Doom and The Witcher 3 to the Switch. And then we get EA, who feels really like one of the only few studios not to bother with the Switch. That being said, we've seen decent Need for Speed and Burnout ports, but it's that time of the year again for another FIFA, so let's see how FIFA 22 on the Switch holds up. Let's find out. And straight from the get-go, I'm going to tell you it's exactly the same game as last year, which is no surprise considering it's labelled as the Legacy Edition, which sees nothing new really added bar updated roster, UI, kits and stadiums with nothing much else. To be fair, EA are open and honest about it in the description and press kits given out, but that's not really the point. I find it funny that on the blurb it actually says that it features the same great innovative gameplay from FIFA 21 on the Switch, which is a joke as that game wasn't innovative at all because it was basically the same game as FIFA 20, and essentially all the FIFA games on Switch are just the same as FIFA 18, just with updated kits and the like. I find it even more funnier as FIFA 18 when it was released on Switch was then quite dated back then compared to FIFA 18 on other consoles. I know the other consoles run on the Frostbite engine, but it would have been nice if EA actually built a game from the ground up that plays on the Switch's strengths, like essentially what EA did with the FIFA games during the early Wii era. But then no, that would require a lot of effort and resources, and if EA can keep getting away with releasing these legacy editions, they will do. But on to the actual game now, and FIFA 22 at the end of the day still plays a mighty fine game of football, feeling exactly like the other FIFA Switch games, which in turn feel like the late 360 PS3 era FIFA games. It's still enjoyable to play football here, choosing your team, the stadium and the like. It's solid stuff that still holds up pretty well. As for the modes, it's your usual mix of career, kick-off, tournaments and women international cups. There's also a multiplayer in both online and local variety, and for the most part both modes play fine, though it's exactly the same amount of content that you got last year with FIFA 21. As per usual for these FIFA Switch games, we have Ultimate Team mode here, which includes all its seasons and tournaments and the like that we've come to expect from this mode, though it wouldn't be a FIFA game if they didn't include any microtransactions, and yes, they're all here present and correct, which is disgusting as they can't put the effort into making a proper title for Switch, yet they can put the effort in to include microtransactions, and that really does grind my gears. We do need to talk about the pricing. Last year the game was priced around the £40 to £45 mark at launch, and at the time it was daylight robbery, and thankfully they've listened. Well, just a little bit by dropping the retail price to £35, though I've seen it online for £30. But unfortunately for that price it's still far too expensive for just a spruce up and a kit update. Ideally it would be a free or a £5 DLC upgrade for the previous game, but no, this is EA we're talking about here, so they feel the need to charge near full price for very little effort. On to the presentation side of things now, and it's your typical FIFA Switch experience, meaning it looks exactly like last year's title and pretty much the same as the other Switch FIFA games. The only real difference here in the graphics is that it has the FIFA 22 logos and the UIs and the updated kits. The game does look fine and it does run smoothly, which is great, but it would have been nice to see EA actually bother and push the series forward, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Conclusion time now, and FIFA 22 Legacy Edition on Switch is just as I and what many other people expected it to be, a carbon copy of the last few FIFA games on Switch, just with updated rosters and UI. It's disgusting and lazy behaviour from EA. Admittedly, it does play a decent game of football, but to charge £35 for so little effort is a joke. If you want a FIFA game on Switch, just get FIFA 18 as it's super cheap and also comes bundled in with the World Cup content. Just steer clear of this version to tell EA that this is not acceptable. So with that, I'm giving FIFA 22 Legacy Edition on the Switch a 3 out of 10 with a title of awful. As always, thank you for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, that would be totally awesome. And as always, till next time, happy gaming. Bye.